Everyone, it's me, Fashion Coder, and I am here to talk to you about Hedron today. So I do want to give at Hedron Pro a shout out on Twitter. He helped me grab a couple of different materials to get ready for this, so thank you to him, and I will jump right in. So this is the website, hedron.pro. I have actually read through this entire website just to kind of get more of my bearings on what it is. I highly recommend looking through the documentation. There's a white paper on it, I think is what it was. And that was super helpful with just the different use cases and the flow of it. There is a flow chart, which is also really helpful, but we'll get to that when we do. So a couple of things about Hedron. It is something that's built upon Hex. So you have to have Hex staked to be able to utilize Hedron. So just a warning going forward that you need to have staked Hex. If you don't, think about either buying Hex and staking it, or if you already have Hex, staking it, because this is going to be something that could be a very amazing thing on top of it. So honestly, I'm just going to read you guys these because they are really good descriptions. Hedron, HDRN, is a collection of smart contracts that live on the Ethereum Impulse Chain blockchains. Hedron built on top of Hex to allow stakers to mint and borrow Hedron tokens against their active Hex stakes. Hedron also allows stakers to trade their Hex stakes as NFT tokens on any compatible NFT marketplace. Hedron has no admin keys and no kill switches, just like Hex. Hedron is completely decentralized with zero counterparty risk. So that's something that's huge, right? With Hex, there are no admin keys, and so you can't have this crazy thing go on. It's set in what it is right now, which is amazing. So Hedron has followed along in the footsteps of Hex like that, which is a really good sign. How do I get Hedron? Hedron analyzes a Hex stake and allows the staker to mint or borrow Hedron based on the amount of shares allocated to their stakes. If a staker emergency unstakes or otherwise ends their stake before minting their Hedron, they'll no longer be able to mint Hedron against those stakes. Instanced Hex stakes with active Hedron advances cannot end stake until the advance is paid in full. The maximum amount of mintable or borrowable days is equal to the full term of the stake. So it's just following along right with Hex. And how does Hedron supply relate to the Hex share price? Hedron is an inflationary token because Hex share price only increases over time. Hex stakes will continually have less shares allocated to them. The net effect of this is that as the Hex share price increases, the amount of mintable Hedron will decrease. This is a similar in effect of how mineable cryptocurrencies increase difficulty over time. So I watched this video from one of the developers for Hedrons in it. His name's Alex. He has an awesome beard. He talked about how in 15 years, if Hex is $10 a coin, then Hedron will be about 12 cents a coin, which if you see the numbers of the Hedron that you get, if it was 12 cents, that's going to make people millionaires and possibly higher than that. So this is something that you do want to get in on if you believe in Hex, because if you believe in Hex, this is also going to be something that's going to just blow your mind in what it can be. Okay, the nerdy organizational side of myself loves this flowchart and the if statements that you can go through. So if you view it on a full screen, it is a lot easier to read. But take the time and go through each of these scenarios. It also goes through this in the white paper, so you might want to have one on both sides as you read through, because it gives descriptions of what each of these things means. But you're able to see the options that you have. And there are 4 options of what you can do. I'm not going to go further into those. Here are a couple of other things about Hedron. And then you can estimate your payout. So this is a calculator for it right here. If you also read the white paper, it goes into how to do the math of it, which is great. And something about the bonus multiplier, we'll get to it, but it opened up, I think, the end of February, if I remember correctly. And it's like 180 days. We can look at it later on in the video, but to get that multiplier. So right now, if you do it, you will get the multiplier. And if you have any questions, here they are answered. This is actually really where I started understanding it, was reading through these questions and just like what these different things mean, and that there's several ways to do it, and there's several different terms that you need to know going through it. And for me, a lot of these terms I didn't know. So reading through those questions really helped. And then I do want to go, yeah, there's a white paper. Okay, read through all this. Like, seriously, super beneficial. Let's see, it does say, so there's 3 major features: minting, borrowing, and the tokenized hex stakes. Each of these go into depth, and then it also helps you see the math. This reminded me of like my math class, like equations with their real world examples, which I actually love. Like, going through this, it's super helpful to know exactly what you're going to be getting. And then, so that, the first one is the minting. And the little top sections tells you like what you need for it. So like for minting, you can use both the instant stakes or the native stakes, whereas some of them you can't do that. You can't use both. So it's also good to know like what you're doing with your hex, so you can know which one of these you can do with Hedron. Oh yeah, the tokenized hex stakes, you have to have the instanced stakes. And then, it goes more in depth. This I actually thought was interesting, and it's a warning, is the minting advance is, borrowing has intrinsic risks. If you fail to meet your installment obligations before the default threshold, your position will be liquidated, which I'm going to tell you don't want that to happen. So it's good to know that going forward, and it literally says like you should not do this unless you have complete understanding of it. So me personally, I should not do that right now because I don't have complete understanding of this. And there's also the installments, and then payoffs, liquidations. Okay, and then 4A is the launch phase bonus. Okay, and this is kind of what I was talking about before, is, yes, the first 100 Hedron days after the launch date. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was either end of February or beginning of March. I saw it somewhere on here. Oh, I actually do know where it is. Home. It was February 26th. Okay, cool. So 100 days from February 26th. Scroll back down. You will get that bonus multiplier. I think there might be other things about that. Let's see. So the bonus itself starts at a 10 times multiplier only to minted Hedron, not borrowed Hedron. And then this 10 times multiplier drops by 1x every 10 Hedron days. Okay, so you're not going to get the 10x right now because we're in mid-April. So let's see, we've already gone by what, 50 days-ish? So you're probably going to get, if you did it today, maybe like a 4 or 5 times multiplier. So, but hey, like that's still better than nothing, right? So that's good to know. And then this goes into that AMR, advance to mint ratio bonus. And there you have it. If you are wondering about more things within this, I was recommended to join the Telegram, which I did. So if you have questions, they're very happy to answer them. So go to Telegram. They also have a Twitter page, Reddit, and Discord where you can join in on conversations or just see what they're posting there. But this is really honestly something you're going to want to look into if you have Hex. Something that I read in the frequently asked questions is this is not a Richard Hart project, but this is Hexicans here to help other Hexicans. So it's not one of his projects, but it is something that's built upon the Hex framework, which is really neat. So come on in here, take a look at it, read about it. I know a lot of people have already joined in on believing in Hedron, but come on in, check this out. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe. We have some really exciting things coming up in the Pulse Chain network, as it is going to go to mainnet, which hopefully is sooner than later. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.